The dawning of a new era in CSB sports.
We're so awesome that even our school wants us. You got to come on here. AllNoiseRadio.com, baby. We need your support. We appreciate your support. Look forward to our show every week.
Bringing you a wide variety of topics in the world of sports.
Hockey.
I like the new icing rules as well. A great move by the NHL doing that.
You know, the Penguins still have all that talent. Their goaltending kills them.
Basketball.
If they get that Eastern Conference #1 seed and everything's got to go through Conseco Fieldhouse, I think it's going to be tough to knock them off.
The Miami Heat are the two-time defending champions, but I think their road's going to be very hard to get back to the finals for the 4th straight year.
Baseball.
Money's not an issue for Derek Jeter. Money's not an issue for Alex Rodriguez. Money's not an issue for Sabathia. Money's not an issue for Mark Teixeira, but Robinson Cano, ooh, not our best player. Can't pay him. I don't like calls like this. This is ridiculous. It's bad for baseball, but you know what? Bud Selig's bad for baseball. Ruggies, they essentially let their best player walk for a far inferior ball player in Jacoby Ellsbury.
Football.
There's so many weapons on Denver. He's got an embarrassment of riches as far as targets to throw to.
Peyton Manning kind of answered the skeptics there. Didn't play well in the cold in New England. Do that with running the ball, getting first downs, sustaining drives, and let him get cold on the bench.
You can't tell me he was trying to protect the field goal because there's no way you're kicking the field goal into the win from the 40.
That's a team I predicted to go to the playoffs, and they're sitting at 0-2, and they're in total disarray. You know, but at the same time, they're 10 seconds away from being 2-0.
6 goal-to-go plays in the first half and no passes into the end zone.
Come on. The most amazing stat that I saw this Dallas' defense, they forced 4 turnovers and still lost the game.
Get ready.
We work hard. Love sports.
The knowledge.
I just want to make you look bad, Ruggs, because you always make me look bad with your sports intellect.
The passion.
Hey, Jimmy, you're going to be the best-looking guy on the unemployment line, buddy. What a disgrace.
It's the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio.
And you are listening live to the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio. I am Ruggs, and my partner will join me in 1 second, and that is Zuki. And we are going to be here covering a wide variety of topics in the world of sports. Say hello, Zuki.
Hey, yo, what's going on?
Not much, but I know what everybody's getting into and all excited about doesn't happen often in this country, but you know, I alluded to it a little last week with my 20-second rant when I yelled goal out. I won't do that again and offend anybody or, you know.
Well, I brought you an inhaler this time. But unfortunately, the last time we heard goal in a USA soccer game, it was at the 95th minute of the game yesterday between the US of A and Portugal. And as you can sense in my voice, it was unfortunately on the wrong side. Portugal ties the game in the 95th minute. Unreal. You can't make it up. Pretty depressing. Listen, proud of the way the USA played. They played very hard. They played very well. They dominated most of the game, especially after Portugal got a gift goal by Nani. That was a gift.
It was
stupid
an error,
turnover. Yeah,
made a mistake, paid for it. But sometimes in soccer, that's all you get. You don't get another chance, and the game will end 1-0. So they fought really hard, got back into it, got the lead, let it go. It's a weird result, Zook. I'll tell you why, because it was an amazing finish for Portugal. They scored this, breathtaking goal with about 25 or so seconds to go before they blew the final whistle. And really, it was Portugal was more disappointed at the end of the day because they had to have a win.
Right.
The U.S. is still okay.
Yep.
They're in much better shape. Portugal is a team, even though they could, you can sense that there would be some elation in the crowd. There wasn't much. Even from the fans, they didn't go crazy the way they could have if it had been. They needed to win the game, and they did keep a faint pulse alive to possibly advance, but they need a big win, and then they need help.
Well, Portugal needs to get over it. I mean, honestly, what did they think? They're going to win the World Cup? I mean, please, just be grateful you got a tie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you're a Portuguese fan or player alike, all right, the players I could see, but they were so undermanned with all the injuries and and the red card to the defenseman there. His name escapes me now. What the heck was his name? Nene? No,
Pepe was out.
Pepe.
Yeah.
Well, you think I remember that? I had some Pepe's pizza on Saturday. Really good stuff. But yeah, Pepe, the red card to him. So I got to give it to them. I really thought USA was going to win the game outright. I really did. And, yeah, USA played very well. Again, from a performance standpoint, not disappointed, but from a result standpoint, I am disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
I really expected to win because now we know we got to face Germany. And let's be honest.
Germany's the class of the group. They should win the game.
They may be the class of the world. Even although they did look human against Ghana, which I was actually shocked about, which I'm sure everyone was shocked about, to see Ghana give Germany all they could handle. Germany needed a rally just to get a point, which was another great game, which tells you how good Ghana was. That the USA was actually able to get a victory against Ghana. Just tells you how good they are as a team. They were able to go toe-to-toe with Germany, who is, in my opinion, right now the favorite to win the World Cup. But, so the thing, USA's in, they're not in a bad spot, but it would have been nice to get the 6 points.
You always want to advance. When you have the opportunity, you want to see it through. Mm-hmm. Not to mention now, had they held on to this is another important nugget here, is had they held on to the victory, they could have just gotten a draw with Germany and won the group. Because winning the group is also important. I know when you're in the United States, you just want to advance. You don't have the pedigree of some of these other countries that have won World Cup titles before that think about things like winning the group and who you're going to play in the knockout round. But it is important. It's like when we did the Olympics, did the hockey. You don't want to be the team that you don't want to have to play like Canada in the first elimination game, win a single elimination.
Right.
So U.S. has to, they do want to be cognizant of things like that. So a win outright against Germany would get them the group title, but they would have been able to draw and get it. Now, if it's a draw, it goes Germany's way. We saw that today with the Netherlands. They were in a better position than Chile. Chile had to win the game, and I think it put a lot of pressure on them. And then late in the game, they were opened up by counterattack by the Netherlands, and they scored a couple of late goals to win that game because Chile had to be in a game that was tied at 0. They had to go press and get on the attack, and
opened it up
opened it up a little bit because they had to play it like they were a goal down.
Right. I understand with the goal differential. Right.
Different story is going to be in this one because the U.S. does have something to lose. Chile was in no matter what they were playing. They were going for it to try to win the group, so they opened it up a little. Can't do that if you're the United States because you have to be
conservative.
Conservative to a point. You have to take notice of the goal differential. There's a lot of ways that, if you were a poker player, I said this off the air to you, Zook, you have a lot of outs if the United States. You can win a lot of different ways you can get through. Yeah, obviously the easiest thing is just to go out and win. That gets them through. They get through if there's a draw with Germany. They get through if if Ghana and Portugal draw. They get through if Portugal beats Ghana unless they massacre them, and the U.S. gets massacred also. They get through if Ghana beats Portugal by a goal and the U.S. loses by only 1 goal. That evens up the goal differential, and then it would have to go to another set of tiebreakers. And I believe, if I read correctly, that they would get the nod. I don't know if it's the head-to-head win. I'm not sure. Actually, the head-to-head in soccer does not mean a lot. It's not like the NFL. It's not.
It doesn't. It's all goal differential.
But I believe if they ended up with the same goal differential, though, I heard by some other factor that it would be the U.S. that would advance. But I would have to check that. Don't hold me to the cross on that one.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, fortunately, I don't know.
I mean, you're talking about a lot of ways that the U.S. gets through. It would have to really go bad for them to not get through. But obviously the doors open a crack, and you had a chance to shut it.
Yeah, they
completely,
had
and they didn't.
That's what's so disappointing, Ruggs. Is good points there, buddy. It was a good chance for them to really get to 6 points and really put a stranglehold on Group G there, but unfortunately they weren't able to do so. Now, hey, you made your bed. You got to play Germany. Hey, let's see what you got. Jurgen Klinsmann came out and said we have no chance to win this thing. Now it's a chance for the United States to spite their coach, make their own coach eat some crow. And how ironic would it be against his native country of Germany to do so? So,
how much of that, Zook, do you think was, coach speak when he says they have no chance to win that? I've heard, Phil Jackson used to say things like that.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of coaches who always think, yeah, we're the underdog. We're the underdog. It could work. It could work. We'll see how it goes, and I like it. I mean, USA is not in a position, honestly, to be overconfident anyway. We know they're not one of the elite teams in soccer, but they're playing pretty well. If I'm the USA, honestly, I just go out there and have fun. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Tell yourselves, listen, we know who the better team is. Germany's the better team, but let's just go out there, have some fun, play our game, and just try to, let's see what happens, basically. But let's, stay within ourselves. Let's not get sloppy. Let's stay disciplined and try to keep these guys off the scoreboard as much as we can. And I have a good feeling about the game, honestly. I really think USA is going to do okay. I don't see them getting blown out. I think Tim Howard's playing real well right now. I like the way a lot of guys are playing right now. I know Michael Bradley missed some chances, had some bad luck, kicked the ball right into a Portuguese defender last night, right in front of the goal, and which was disheartening. But nevertheless, he's playing real well. I like the kid Susie, who's coming in for Altidore. He's a pretty good player as well. So I think USA's playing really well right now, and I really do believe that they can give Germany a good battle, a good fight. I won't go as far as saying they can win the game, but hey, you never know. You never know. This World Cup's been crazy. We've seen some crazy things occur, upsets, goals in the 95th minute. I mean, it's just been nuts. It's been a great World Cup. I've been into it. I haven't been exactly the biggest soccer fan in the world. One time, I'll tell a quick story. I was on Facebook during the last World Cup, in my younger years when I was a jerk. Now I'm not so big of a jerk anymore. And I said, I was watching the World Cup 4 years ago, and it was rather boring, to be honest. The World Cup 4 years ago wasn't very good, and I was like, geez, if soccer's the world's game, then the world is one boring place, because this is horrible. I tell you what, if soccer's the world's game, the world's pretty exciting. It's been pretty
this has been
good.
a much better World Cup than the last couple. It's been really one of the great World Cups to this point.
Absolutely.
There's still your occasional snoozer. There's a couple games that have been but the U.S., they don't play in any of those games. Every one of their games is exciting. That's one thing you got to say about them.
They've been in
their style is very impressive, and it's also very attack-minded, so it translates to excitement, which obviously helps ratings. Them winning games helps ratings. Mm-hmm. So in this country, it's doing about as well as it's ever done. So.
No, that's true, man. Hey, who would have ever thought that in the middle of June, soccer, USA soccer, would be the forefront of our country, in sports. Usually it's baseball. I mean, now the basketball and hockey are over, but still, it's never soccer, especially USA soccer. But now it's in the forefront of our sports stories and sports radio, sports talk, wherever you go.
Yeah.
It's the number one story, USA soccer. So I'm very proud as an American to see them playing this well. Hopefully they go out and beat Germany in
think about it,
Thursday.
The defending world champions are not in it anymore.
Spain
is out.
They won today. It was the last hurrah, but I got to say, what a great run by Spain, though.
Oh, yeah.
It ended. Today was they won
two European championships in a row with a World Cup in the middle.
World Cup. Unbelievable. One of the great runs in soccer history. So, yeah, congrats to Spain. I know they had a nice last hurrah today with a victory, but they could. But you know what?
Yeah, they should be
good
very
things.
Proud of themselves.
Yeah. Good things don't last forever. So great run by Spain.
Yeah. So with that, no more Spain in the tournament after today's win that they had against Australia, 3-0. They're out, and the face maybe of world soccer, Cristiano Ronaldo, barring a real exceptional set of circumstances on Thursday. These games are going to be Thursday at noon, is probably also going to be out, and most likely the Americans will still be playing, or a very good chance that they will be. So there's a lot to be proud of. You got teams that are really out. England's out.
Yeah. Italy's on
the
hot seat.
cusp. I mean, and either they're out or Uruguay is going to be out. And one of those, those are the two teams.
Oh my God. Uruguay was a favorite to win it.
Yeah, and obviously with Italy and England, both
unreal.
Teams could both get bounced in favor of a team that's maybe the story of the World Cup if you're not from this country, and that's Costa Rica.
Yeah, Costa Rica's been amazing.
Who's gone out and beaten 2 top 10 teams in the world.
Yeah.
2-1 both time. 2-1 against Uruguay, and they beat Italy 1-0. So they are on top of the world right now, and they go play England basically just for, I mean, I don't want to say it's just for gravy because they want to win the group to get the better draw, but they're going out and playing without having to get a result to advance. So what kind of, they never thought in their wildest dreams they'd be in that situation with the draw they had to start the World Cup. So that, you got them in that group. You got
impressed with Colombia as well.
Colombia's been great. A lot of people had them as a sleeper team, and they've certainly shown up to be that. They should win that group. They just need a draw to win that group outright. They believe they have Japan, if I'm not mistaken, coming up.
Yes, 4:00 tomorrow.
Yeah, and then Greece will play Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast tomorrow.
The winner of that game's got an excellent chance at moving through. It really comes down to, I believe Greece has to win the game, and I think Ivory Coast can get through with a draw or a win. I'm not positive about that. It depends on what happens with Japan. If Colombia wins, that knocks Japan out, and then the winner of that Ivory Coast-Greece game gets through.
Italy-Uruguay is going to be a great. It's going to be
that's
a fun
big
game
one.
tomorrow.
That'll be excellent. You got some great strikers of the ball. You got Mario Baltinelli for Italy going against Luis Suarez from Uruguay, 2 of the elite players in Europe and in the world. There's just a lot going on. It seems like the stars have really lined up to bring you a great World Cup this time around. I couldn't be more excited about it. I'm trying to think of other teams that are really making an impression on the World Cup, and it just seems like every team.
A lot of parity.
Has put their best foot forward. There's a lot of teams still alive.
A lot of parity. Mexico with a big win today. That was a huge win to get.
They're going. I'm sorry to cut you off there. They're going through. Brazil's going through in that group. The Netherlands, who a lot of people like to win the World Cup again.
Boy, do they look good.
They look good. They're 3-0. They had to come from behind in their first 2.
Chile playing very well. It's another team we didn't to Chile with 6 points.
Yep.
Yeah, they're playing real well. Yeah, it's been an amazing World Cup. I've been thoroughly entertained. I think a lot of people have been. It's only going to get better. I'm actually excited. I'm just waiting for more games. I wish I could just watch soccer all day. And I haven't said that ever. To be honest with you, I never in my life did I ever think that I could say that. So it's been a great World Cup. Hope everybody's been enjoying it. We'll touch more on it next week as well as the knockout rounds. Begin to take shape, and we'll know. We'll start as usual. We'll start separating the pretenders from the contenders. Yeah, and we'll start touching more on that next week. But great tournament, and go USA on Thursday. Try to beat the 9 Germans. The Sprachen Sie Deutsch. Get rid of those. Try to kick them around like we kicked them around in World War II. Kick their. What's that schnitzel? Kick them in the schnitzel there, Dempsey.
And hopefully they have a shot at getting Altidore back. We'll see. Doesn't look great.
Yeah,
I'd rather them get him healthy for the knockout round than chance it. And because they got a good flow even without him. They haven't had him for. They had him for the first 20 minutes of the first game. They've done all right since. So
like I said, Susie's been great.
Yep.
Susie played very well, and I like the kid. So. USA,
absolutely,
he was a good replacement. So, we'll see. Go get him.
Go get him. And we're going to go get to a break right now on the Zuki and Ruggs Show. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about the NBA and then one of my favorite individuals, and Carmelo Anthony, when we come back on the Zuki and Ruggs Show.
Has this ever happened to you?
Flop the nut straight.
And then you felt like this?
All night, chick, he trapped me!
Are you thousands of dollars in debt? Have you ever bet on the Puppy Bowl?
Are you in too deep but have no intention of stopping?
Who are you going to call?
Gambling Enablers Anonymous. Witness protection for gamblers. Gambler. Some people may say you have an addiction to gambling, but we here at
Gambling Enablers Anonymous
believe you have every right to continue your hobby. We will provide you with a new identity to help you hide from those pesky IRS agents and loan sharks.
We also provide relocation services based on your preferred betting venues. Just listen to our satisfied customers.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Bob Simon.
I'm Batman.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
So before you end up or Call us.
Gambling Enablers Anonymous.
Witness protection for gamblers. Gamblers.
This is obviously not a real service, and if you thought it was, you are a total moron. Gambling Enablers Anonymous holds no legal responsibility for any dumb decisions you make, especially based on this commercial. Gambling is a risk, and if you consider calling us, we would advise you to seek psychiatric evaluation.
Listen up, boys and girls. This is Wingnut from Psychedelic Bubblegum Shop. I don't usually do sports, but when I do, I know it's Zuki and Ruggs time. Yeah, right here on allnoiseradio.com.
And we're back on the Zuki and Ruggs Show. We're going to get to some round ball now. NBA draft coming up this Thursday. So if you need something to do when the World Cup games end Thursday night, it's going to be a packed day. U.S. will go on early in the afternoon and then nighttime at the Barclays Center.
Ballin'.
Yeah. We got the NBA draft. We got all the rumors swirling around now that Carmelo Anthony opts out of his final year of his contract and will test the free agent waters. If anybody out there listening to our show is surprised by that, I'm very upset with you because listening to us, you should know better. Carmelo Anthony, there's no loyalty.
No.
He's only looking out
for number one.
Or number 7 or whatever number he's dying for the,
Well, he's number
the
one.
fleeting moment.
If you know what I'm saying. He's number one right here.
That's
if
right.
you're a Knick fan. But, hey, let's be honest here. No big surprise. Now, when we gave our predictions last week when we were kind of speculating about Carmelo Anthony and we said we both felt as though he would return to the Knicks, this doesn't mean...
Yeah, he still may. Absolutely.
Yeah, this doesn't mean that he's not going back to the Knicks. This just means he opted out of his current contract, which paid him $23 million a year. So I don't know what else he'd be looking for, perhaps a raise. But if now the problem with that is this: if you're Carmelo Anthony, you're treading on some treacherous waters here because Phil Jackson came out. Okay, it could be him bargaining, it could be gamesmanship, it could be business talk. Okay, we get all that. But when Phil Jackson comes out and says, if I was Carmelo, I wouldn't opt out, and you opt out, that's calling the dude's bluff. Now, Phil Jackson, listen, I don't think he's that big of an egomaniac when it comes to being a GM. I can't see him now being vindictive and saying, oh, well, he opted out, so now he's gone. I could see the owner doing that because he did it with Jeremy Lin. So I could see the owner being that way. But now that Phil's in total control, let's see what happens here. This could just be a ploy by Carmelo to get more money or a bigger contract. Basically, an extension is basically what you're looking at here. Now he's 30, so he's starting with a fresh new contract. Say if it's a 5-year deal, he'd be paid up until he was 35. Instead of, it just gives him a little bit more security at an older age. Or say if it's a 7-year deal, he'd be 37, whatever. No big surprise here. The thing is this, Ruggs. Okay, you're Carmelo, you're free. You're a free agent. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you why I think he's doing it. He wants to see how everything else, and we talked about this last week, how everything else shakes out, starting with the first domino. He's trying to be the first domino by making this move here, but I still think, like you said, it's going to hinge on Dwayne Wade and the rest of the Miami Heat. When we find out what's going to happen with the Heat superstars, then I think Carmelo's going to sit back with his agent and say, all right, maybe I should go there because LeBron went here and now they got 2 guys over there. I can go win a title. I can go be the third piece of the puzzle over there. That could be one reason. Or he's going to try to, like you said, knock down a long-term deal with the Knicks and then start playing recruiter and start trying to bring some of these guys, namely the Miami trio, bring some form of that up to New York.
Yeah, I see it being the latter, Ruggs. Honestly, I just can't see him going to Miami. For this reason, I don't see Dwayne Wade opting out.
No, I think he's going to stay.
I don't think Dwayne Wade's going to walk away from $40 million.
No, and Pat Riley feels the same way. He's come out and said just about as much to the media. That doesn't lock anything down, but he's pretty confident Dwayne will be a Heat player next year.
And then Chris Bosh, okay, and he's another guy now. Okay, so let's just assume, for argument's sake, Wade stays. Wade says, listen, I want my money. I like it here, and honestly, if I opt out, it's a poor business decision, which it would be. It would be a horrible business decision for Dwayne Wade. Because who's giving Dwayne Wade an Amari Stoudemire type contract? He's clearly broken down. He is not getting $40, $50, $60 million from any other team in the league.
He doesn't play enough games.
No one's paying him that. No one's ruining their cap for Dwayne Wade, except the Knicks maybe. But anyway, so in all seriousness, though, I can't see Wade opting out. Chris Bosh is another one. This Chris Bosh, maybe Chris Bosh opts out, perhaps, but if he does it, I think he's the one who's gone. I think if he opts out, I see Miami cutting ties with him.
I agree. Totally agree.
So it's whether or not Chris Bosh honestly wants to be a Heat, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think he's kind of another one that it could be a bad business decision to opt out. He's not going to be in the kind of demand I don't feel that he was when he went into Miami.
No way.
He's kind of retooled and changed the way he plays the game now, and I don't think it's as much in demand to have a 6'10", 6'11" guy shooting from behind the arc, trying to become a three-point shooter. He doesn't. We talked about it. He does not like playing it close to the basket anymore, back to the basket. His offensive game close to the rim has just left him. He's an amazing big man that can shoot the ball real well from the outside, and that is in demand in the NBA, but not like somebody that can go and take over the game on the interior. He doesn't do it.
He doesn't make enough shots either.
And he doesn't play enough defense.
No.
Like, he doesn't alter shots or do that sort of thing. He doesn't shut big guys down on the inside. I mean, there's just a lot of holes in his game right now.
There is. He's clearly declining. If you want to tell me that his game is taking a step back since his days in Toronto because he's playing with LeBron and Wade, and he's had to kind of peel it back a little in order to, to keep Miami's success, to keep Miami afloat, so he's kind of had to be unselfish. I'm not buying it. I think he's clearly declining. His skills are eroding. If he opts out, maybe he can find a spot with a team and get some more money, land a good contract. But he's taking a chance as well. I think it's a risk. We'll see.
I mean, a bad team might pay him. I mean, if he's just looking purely for the money, I mean, a bad team might give him the kind of deal he wants. But to go to another contender, a good team that needs to be wise with their decisions and who they're going to pick to pay what money to, I don't think any of those teams are going to pay the money to Chris Bosh.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, I could see a team like Phoenix or somebody like that who try to bring him in. There's some teams out there that could use him. Some teams that don't have a low post guy or could use a shooter.
Houston, I
I
mean,
don't know if they have the cap room though.
That's an issue.
I mean, they'd have to unload some guys. They'd have to make, even if they. Well, I think they're more liable again, as we all know, to make a bigger push for Carmelo. Maybe he's a consolation prize. Maybe if Carmelo goes elsewhere or stays in New York and Houston's there with their hands in their pockets, they say, hey, you know what, Chris Bosh is still out there. Maybe then, and you know what, it's actually probably wouldn't be a bad fit. Actually, the more I think about it, probably wouldn't be a bad fit.
Like you said though, cap room could be an issue. Fit wise,
they'd have to make room.
Makes some sense because they already have Howard that can play near. Will play near the basket.
Oh yeah, he will.
There's a question about whether his skills have eroded somewhat.
Yeah.
As far as how productive he is, but he's going to take care of that responsibility anyway. And when you draw the lineup up, so Bosh could play a little bit more away from the rim.
Yeah,
but a lot of interesting falling places for Bosh. But I think his my gut tells me he's going to not want to opt out. He's going to want to play the last year. Like you said, I think he'd be the odd man out if he resisted at all. I think he plays his last year out.
Secretly, I think Pat Riley's hoping he opts out.
Probably. He seems to be really, excited about Wade coming back. So I think, year-wise and wear and tear, you got more run and more mileage left on the tread on the tires of Chris Bosh than you do on Dwayne Wade. But so it's tough to read Pat Riley, what he actually thinks and what he's just telling the media.
Right. I think the whole I'm happy Dwayne Wade's not going to opt out as a facade. I think if Pat Riley had his preference or his, he'd much rather see Dwayne Wade opt out.
I'll tell you who he doesn't want walking out is.
I could hear him queuing up the song, I'm coming home. You get that song going. But I don't know
imagine how things would turn and how people would be a little different.
Tell you what, hey, Cleveland's got a chance here to make a move. I don't know if they'll make a push for Kevin Love. The rumors are swirling with him as well, with the Lakers, and now you're getting the Golden State rumors going. I'm hearing that proposed trade. I don't think it makes either team any better. I think it's more of a fantasy basketball trade than it is a real basketball trade. Yeah, sure, on paper, Kevin Love and Steph Curry on the same team is nice to have, but does that really make them a championship contender? I don't think so. I think they tread water in the West as usual. And the same thing with Minnesota. I mean, you trade Kevin Love and you get back Klay Thompson and David Lee. I mean, although David Lee and Nikola Petrovic would
they would be
Pekovic,
good.
excuse me,
Yep.
would be a pretty good down low team. They'd be a great tandem down there. They'd present some nightmares to some opposing low post guys, but
problem in Golden State is there's only one ball, right? And you put Kevin Love there, and is there enough? There's not enough maybe shots to go around for him.
Yeah, right.
Obviously getting rid of Klay Thompson and like you said, David Lee would open up.
I think it would hurt them
a little.
I think it would hurt them defensively. Because I think Klay Thompson's a pretty decent defender,
he is a good defender. David Lee's a big time rebounder.
David Lee, yeah.
There's a lot of things, and Love is an elite rebounder.
Yes, he is. 26-13 this year was his average.
So
pretty damn good.
So you're going to make up the numbers there, but what you're losing is, like you said, you're losing that touch from the outside of Klay Thompson and his defense. You're picking up Kevin Love, who strokes the ball as well as any big man and rebounds the ball. So
yeah, but his defense is lacking.
His defense is definitely a question mark.
Mm-hmm. But he's a tremendous player. I'm not trying to in any way degrade or diminish Kevin Love. I'd love to have him on my Chicago Bulls, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens with free agency. It's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens with Carmelo. It's all speculation at this point. We're just kind of do a lot of what ifs, a lot of maybes, a lot of hypotheticals. It's all we're doing right now. So we'll have to wait and see. And the next week at this time, June 30th is the big day for the big three. Well,
so we'll know a lot better then.
Yeah, we'll know, especially with LeBron. Wade, we know that he's going to stay. He's not opting out, but more with LeBron and Bosh. What are those two guys? What are they going to do? And then we'll see if the big three is really over. Is the era really over? I think it is. I really do think it's over. But we'll see. You never know if they try to. If those three guys stay, though, they don't have much to do. I don't think they're going to do anything else. I mean, I can't see them bringing in Carmelo Anthony. I don't believe it at all. No way Carmelo Anthony, being the selfish diva player he is, no way he's taking less to go to Miami. And I heard another scenarios. LeBron will take. Are you kidding? I was listening to some of the radio today in New York, and it's just no wonder Mike Francesa and these guys hang up on people. What are you smoking if you actually believe that LeBron James is going to take less money to accommodate Carmelo Anthony?
There is no way.
Are you kidding?
LeBron James will take less money to go anywhere, let alone to go.
No, stay in Miami. I'm talking about staying in Miami.
Oh, to stay in Miami to
play with Carmelo.
Play with Carmelo Anthony. I don't see that either.
I see. Or even going to New York now.
I see that even less.
Yes.
To go to play in his. To go to his team like he already did once for Wade. If anything, he's going to say, "You're coming to my team.
Right.
I'm the Heat now."
Yes.
That could happen if Wade or Bosh or both ended up out.
Right.
Could he bring in a Carmelo? I don't think he'd take less money to do it, but perhaps he'd restructure, do something on the slate. But he's not going to do that to go elsewhere. I don't think there's any chance of that happening at all. But there is no way that he's going to take less money.
No way
at all. I mean,
no
there's
way.
just no chance.
So we'll see what happens there. But Cleveland has a chance to make up for last year's get into the NBA draft. We'll touch
that's
on
the
that.
other piece of the puzzle here. Forget the free agency for a minute. Now you got the draft. That's the other way you can get back into
the LeBron sweepstakes.
His
good graces,
or to be back to being competitive at any team. Not just the Cavs, but any team has their.
If you look at Cleveland, I mean. If they can make, if they can get, I'm looking at a mock draft right here. They've got Andrew Wiggins going there. I mean, but it's between Wiggins and Parker, as we all know with Cleveland. It's just a matter of who they take. Either way, they're taking one of the best players in the country, whether it's Wiggins or Parker. It's real debatable. I like Wiggins, but we'll see. You never know.
I do too. I'm a Wiggins fan over Parker.
Over Parker, me too. I really think Parker should have stayed one more year, but whatever. So you get Wiggins with Kyrie Irving. You're on your way to something there. I mean, you got a core there in Cleveland. Obviously, got to throw away last year's number 1 pick unless Bennett does, emerges into something. But man, I mean, when you see the guy look that overweight at the draft, that was kind of disconcerting.
He really reminds me of Michael Olowokandi when they picked him.
Very good.
When the Clippers did that back so many years ago.
Yes.
It was a guy that just looked like such a beast in college, but sometimes that overly muscular, big power guy inside, it translates to being overweight very easily when you enter the pros. Sometimes when your body hits a certain age and maturity level, sometimes the muscle that you've packed on turns real quickly into pudge, basically. And in the NBA, it's just tough to make it with pudge. I mean, you gotta be able to be, very flexible and just you can't be that muscle bound's okay to some extent, but you can't when it turns into bulk.
Right.
Then you're basically like an anchor down there. You're not moving around. You don't have the dexterity near the basket, especially somebody that plays so close to the basket. It's not relying on going out and taking 20-foot jumpers.
Yeah.
Like a guy like Bennett is, and that usually doesn't bode well. I'd like to see him turn around because I did think he was a exciting college player.
Yeah.
You'd like to see maybe him put the dedication, put the effort in, and maybe still turn this thing around. It's tough after 1 year to dismiss somebody, but it certainly was not a banner year number 1.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, if he could turn into a player, that'd be pretty good. Cleveland needs him in order to turn that franchise around. But I tell you what, Wiggins or Parker with Kyrie Irving's a good start, good core to have. So we'll see what happens with the NBA draft. It's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty exciting, pretty deep draft. Of course, we got the Joel Embiid injury. I still think it won't affect his draft. Maybe it'll affect it one spot, but come on, the kid's such a tremendous player. You can't really let that bother you. Marcus Smart, who we all love. I mean, we all know how good of a player he is. I mean, this mock draft I'm looking at has him going 4 to Orlando. That sounds about right. Ruggs was telling me one had him going to I cannot see.
Yeah,
I can't see him
go. Today had him going down all the way to 7 to the Lakers.
No way. Well, ESPN
Lakers would love that.
They're so pro Lakers. It's sickening. They're so pro Lakers. I mean, it's sickening. These guys just love the Lakers. It's like, just come out and say you love the Lakers. It's just so sickening. Everything's Lakers. Just get over the fact the Lakers are they're dead. They had their run. They won all these. It's over. Forget the Lakers. Okay, forget them. F them. They're gone. They're done. They're finished. They're buried. Now miraculously they're going to get Marcus Smart. Yeah. Okay. Pass the Chiba, buddy. Please. Marcus Smart. Yeah. Orlando, Utah, and Boston of all teams are going to let him go to the Lakers. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Keep dreaming. And I got a bridge in Brooklyn I can sell you. Please. Anyway, we got
to go to a break here. But before that, if you had a bridge in Brooklyn, at least you'd be one better than the Nets because the Nets have no picks and neither do the Knicks. So that'll make a.
The Nets made a good investment. Though they traded their whole draft for 2 35-year-old guys. It was great. Garnett and Pierce. They were tremendous for them.
Hey, we're like 2 35-year-old guys. You're almost. I'm a little over, but hey.
Yeah. Well, you don't see us running up and down basketball courts. I wouldn't give up a first-round pick for me.
Selling yourself short there, kid. Come on. All right, we'll be back after these messages on the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio.
Everybody hates car accidents, especially from bad brake pads. So choose Callahan brake pads. They're durable, dependable, and come with an outstanding sales and customer service. Tommy Callahan says,
our new brake pads are really cool.
But if you do think that other brake pads are just as good, just ask our associate what happens when you choose the other guy's brake pads.
You're driving along, and all of a sudden the kids are yelling from the back seat, I gotta go to the bathroom, Daddy. Not now. Truck tire. I can't stop. Help.
Don't set your family on fire. Choose Callahan brake pads.
All Noise Radio, powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
I cannot believe this. This is the best news I've had all week. And I know I can't live without my radio.
I'm sick to death of your mess and your noise.
The noise you can't ignore.
When you need a cup, pour some sugar on me.
Shook up ramen?
Yeah, soup.
Freeze. A call to the library could help her out. Good thing T-Mobile lets her call whenever she wants. Go.
It says here, pour some sugar on me. I'm hot, sticky, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The most one-ever minutes, free long distance and roaming. Only from T-Mobile.
Get more.
All Noise Radio. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
No, Kelly Clarkson!
Our music is awesome.
You have an annoying superhero in your city.
Here I come to save the day.
Does he wear his underwear on the outside and tie a stupid cape around his neck?
Does he undermine your local police department and your fellow cartel?
Does he try to fight with 50-volt beams of light?
Tired of paying for those crime-fighting damages?
Then Luthor Corps is here to destroy.
We have everything you need, from kryptonite in bulk for $99.99 a 50-pound tub, giant cans of Spidey Be Gone that eliminates large webs in seconds, and copies of Galactic Espionage for Dummies.
And of course, your favorite villains can help for $59.99 an hour. They're often evilly late, have a rude demeanor, and if you don't pay them overtime, they may take your firstborn child. But hey, you get what evil you pay for.
But they always get the message.
It's simple. Kill the Batman.
Visit us at www.luthertakesthemdown.com or 666 Death Star Mine, space.
Can Spider-Man come out to play?
Broadcasting around the globe. This is All Noise Radio. All Noise.
Back on the Zuki and Ruggs Show, and we're going to touch on, some other sports that don't always get the top billing and top publicity in the world of sports talk radio. But this isn't your grandfather's or your father's sports talk radio show, ladies and gentlemen. This is the new era, the new wave, the Zuki and Ruggs era, and we do give credence to these sports that, just because mainstream doesn't say they like it as much. We know you out there that are listening watch these sports and care about the results and the people who are involved. So we're going to touch on it, and we'll get right to golf, I think, right out of the chute here, because we had some interesting things that happened just about 45 minutes to an hour from the chairs we're sitting in up at the TPC at River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. And you want to talk about coming up clutch, talk about video game type. I mean, that's what it reminded me of, was playing Tiger Woods on your Xbox here. 7 straight birdies, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And I've walked this course myself. This is not, this isn't the mini golf putt-putt that you're playing, making 7 straight birdies on. There's some, pretty nasty holes in this stretch. And Kevin Streelman just made it look like child's play as he went and came from behind.
Unreal.
I mean, you don't see a lot of big-time comebacks in the back nine like you saw here. I mean, this was kind of exciting for golf. The paying crowd got their money's worth and had a little shot of excitement. There always seems to be exciting finishes at the, what used to be called the GHO up in these parts, but is now the Travelers Championship. Mm-hmm. And what was your take, Zook, when you sat back in your armchair on Sunday and watched that golf?
Unreal. Well, I initially thought Sergio was finally going to win a tournament, so I was happy for him. I mean, he's a guy who's never won a major, who always seems to come up short when it comes to, as it pertains to majors and tournaments alike. So I was actually happy for the guy. So this guy's got a nice lead here. He's playing well. Okay, Sergio will get himself a win. Then all of a sudden, Streelman gets 1. He gets 2. All of a sudden, Streelman, just like you said, rips off all these birdies in a row, just basically rips the trophy right out of Sergio's hands, and he won the tournament. What can you do if you're Sergio Garcia? You just got to tip your hat and say, oh well. I mean, what can you really do there? You play your game. That's the thing about golf. It's a competitive game, but your play has no physical, it has no bearing on your opponent's play.
Right. You can't defend the hole against your opponent.
Right. Exactly. So there's nothing you can really do in golf. When a guy's in the zone, all you can really do is watch, unless you want to be a clown and try to get in his head.
Unless you're Randy Quaid in Caddyshack 2.
Right. Exactly.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
That's hilarious. It's true. Unless you want to do something like that. So, good job by Kevin Streelman. But the big story to me, not to trump Kevin Streelman, but the biggest story was by far Michelle Wie winning the LPGA U.S. Open. Congratulations to her. That was a huge story. Here's a girl that, if you don't know, we happen to know, but if you don't know, she was 14 years old. She was a prodigy, hitting the ball about over 300 yards at 14 years old, and really was mismanaged.
Yes,
really
badly.
was handled poorly by people, treated more like as a circus freak show rather than a young girl. I mean, to try to put her up against men was insanity. It was ludicrous. It was just a bad job by her agents and her managers and what have you. I'm not too sure about it, but hopefully she fired those people. I'm sure she probably did. Hopefully she got rid of those clowns, because it was a joke in and of itself. They were just exploiting a young kid, and to see her be able to rebound and win a U.S. Open, people were happy. I'm happy for her.
I know you blink your eyes and she's in her 20s, Zook.
Yeah, she's 24. Unbelievable.
Yeah, like where did the time go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. She's a woman now. She was a young kid. Now she's a woman right before our very eyes. And it was a great moment for her. Very happy for Michelle Wie to be able to, extinguish those demons and win a major. Many people thought she never would, including myself, to be honest with you. And a quick story. It's so funny. I was watching this tournament. I was laughing because last week I was with a buddy of mine. We were just talking about like hot athletes, hot female athletes and stuff like that. That's what guys do, I guess. And I was like, who I haven't heard about in a long time? Like Michelle Wie. What the hell happened to Michelle Wie? And my buddy actually had to go on Wikipedia and look her up. She's like, oh yeah, she's 24 and yada yada. I'm like, oh yeah, Michelle Wie. Oh my God, yeah. We're talking anyway. We're like, whatever, Michelle Wie. Swept her under the rug, and all of a sudden I put it on. I put it on the U.S. Women's Open. Who do I see atop the leaderboard? Michelle Wie. So good for her. Very happy for her. I know she changed her putting technique.
Yep.
She's gone from being, I think she was the 125th. She was ranked 125th in putting on the ladies tour. Now she's 4th in putting.
Yeah.
So she's really fixed her short game, which, hey, you need to do in order to become a complete player. Doesn't matter how far you hit it. You know the old expression, you hit for show, you
you drive for show and putt for dough.
There you go. I forgot the old expression. You putt for show. Yeah, you drive for show and you putt to score or something like that. I don't know, whatever. But you gotta have a good short game in order to be a complete golfer. She did so, and congratulations, Michelle Wie.
Yeah, it was nice to see. I was pulling for her once she was in contention. I wanted to see her finish it off, and she did. Mm-hmm. And they played Pinehurst number 2 just like the men did the week after. So after it had a week to dry out and get even more difficult. So no small feat there.
Mm-hmm. Most of those ladies were over par.
Yeah.
I think she was the only one under par, wasn't she?
She was the only one under par. I believe she ended 2 under, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think she was the only one under par. So, it was quite an accomplishment for her to get that first, major win. And you talk about prodigies. Now you got 11-year-olds playing in major tournaments.
That's right.
I don't know where it's going to go to next. But
babies.
Yeah, it is a little scary, though, when you think of what an 11-year-old is. I mean, having a niece that's 11, I'm like, I can't even imagine. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's amazing what some of these parents do with these kids, and these kids, they really love the game. And when you work hard enough at something, it's amazing what you can accomplish.
Yeah.
But the big news also in golf. I mean, how could we not touch on this? We'd be foolish if we didn't. Tiger Woods, Tiger Woods, yo. Tiger Woods, yo.
Yeah. And it's something that the game needs, I should say. I'm sorry. per shot in the arm. It certainly helps. Michelle Wie helps.
Yes.
Tiger Woods coming back is going to help the game. And having a finish like you had Sunday with 7 birdie effort in a row to win a tournament, that gains ratings. So lots of things like that will help. This is the season for golf, for this midsummer, when you go from, once the Masters finishes off and starts spring up, you really go Players Championship around Mother's Day, and then bang, bang, bang. It's Father's Day. You got the U.S. Open, and the British Open's coming in a couple of weeks, and then the PGA. It's over quick, and then it kind of starts to make its way down. Yes, there's the FedEx Cup, and there's the ends with the Tour Championship and all that. But a lot of people, I know I'm guilty of this, almost stop watching golf after the majors. I agree. You tail off a little. So the season is now. So you got to get these big stories and these big players involved now to really save the ratings for the year. Golf is really cognizant of that. Believe me, the PGA and the LPGA tours, they know this stuff is very, very important, and their ratings and their, for their revenue stream, it's very important that they get these kind of things to happen, if at all possible. So they're very happy about that. And
it is an exciting time for golf, Ruggs, as you put it. So yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a great golf season, actually, and it's going to get even better with Tiger coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll see how he does. You can't expect too much. Can't expect him to come back and be the old Tiger. It's going to take him a while to shake off the rust and get things going, but it's good for the game. It's good to have your biggest draw back in there.
Absolutely. And then really your other summer, basically your sister sport, if you will, with tennis, with golf, because they follow a pretty similar
they do.
Kind of schematic for a season and a Grand Slam season, other than, their first majors very early. It's in January, the end of January, early February, with the Australian Open right around the Super Bowl time. But other than that, it's fairly similar. You go bang, bang, bang around Memorial Day with the French. You go around the 4th of July with Wimbledon, which we'll touch on in a second. And then you end with the fall. To me, that first touch of fall comes with the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I agree.
That in the beginning of football season. So
I agree.
What's your take on day one of Wimbledon that just concluded? I mean, not a lot of huge stories, but
no, it's exciting. Wimbledon's one of my favorite tournaments, if not my favorite. Just something about Wimbledon.
I love the speed of the game.
The allure of Wimbledon. Yeah, exactly. The speed of the game. The crowd's into it. Not that the French crowd isn't great, and of course we're great here in New York as well with the U.S. Open, but I like the British crowd. They're really into it. The players, you can see it's, in my opinion, no offense to the other Grand Slams, but I think it's a Super Bowl of tennis. I really think it is. I think a lot of golfers are measured on how many Wimbledons you've won. I mean, honestly, you really look at a tennis player's legacy that way. It's like, okay, how many Wimbledons did you win? Like when you think about Bjorn Borg. People look at Bjorn Borg. Does anybody care that Bjorn Borg won a U.S. Open? Does anyone care that Bjorn Borg won a French? No. Everybody looks at Bjorn Borg's his success at Wimbledon. John McEnroe. You ask him what his favorite moment of his career, it's when he beat Bjorn Borg finally at Wimbledon. I mean, come on, it's the be all end all of tennis, and I'm excited for it, as I'm sure everybody else is. And excuse me, and no big surprises here so far. Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic win today, as you told me off air, and as we all know, anybody who follows the game. The big story to me was, of course, before the tournament, again with this Andy Murray. I don't know what it is with this guy. I don't know if it's the London media, the British media really egging him on or putting pressure on him, but he just, when he talks about Wimbledon, when he plays at Wimbledon, it looks like he's not even enjoying himself. It looks like he's in pain. It really looks like someone's torturing him.
He is not that kind of personality, and I think
it's weird. It's really weird.
It's weird. You'd like to see him embrace the situation that he's in a little bit more. I mean, there's a lot to that. I mean, a lot of British guys are just that way, and I think the media in London is not much different than the media in the United States. They'll sense that, and they're not going to back off of him. They're going to, if anything, put up the pressure, and it exposes it even more, and he just doesn't do himself any favors.
Well said. It's so funny you say that, because you're so right, as usual. But you're right, because this reporter asked him during a press conference, he's like, the reporter says, how does it feel to have all the weight of England on your shoulders? It's like, dude, the guy just won he won Wimbledon last year.
Yeah.
And they're like, because of the failures of the English soccer team, now the pressure's all on Andy Murray to salvage, English sports. It's like, are you kidding me? Give me a break. Go get a life, will you? Go eat some tea and crumpets. Shut up. Hey, the guy, he won Wimbledon last year. What's he going? He's supposed to pull a Bjorn Borg now. He's supposed to win, 4 straight Wimbledons. Get out of here. But Murray needs to just enjoy himself. It's so strange. Like, I don't get it. It just, he should just laugh, embrace, joke around, do something. Just enjoy it, man. You're young. You're in the prime years of your life. This is a time in your life that you're going to look back at, and you should be smiling, not lamenting over it. It's just really strange, but I don't know. Andy Murray is just a weirdo English dude, man. I don't know. Maybe it's the rain, the cloudy weather. Maybe the dude needs some sun. I don't know.
Because he really is the country hero right now. He's
I don't know,
their
man.
top sportsman for all intents and purposes. I mean, at one point it was Lennox Lewis, and then it went to
I don't know. Wayne Rooney. Beckham. I guess Beckham. Beckham was the man for a while.
I mean, but that's a team sport. It's a little different. He really is the kind of showpiece of that British sports, program that they run over there that they're very into over, across the pond. And he just does, like you said, he just doesn't take it for what it is. He acts as more of as if it's a burden rather than a pleasure. So, we'll see what happens with this tournament, but he's obviously one of the favorites to win. Yeah. Again, it seems like it's the same cast of characters and usual suspects. You got Nadal, you got Djokovic, and you got Murray. And then it's kind of everybody else.
You still got Roger.
And Roger's around.
You can never count out Roger.
Especially
in this tournament.
It's like Sampras when you're at Wimbledon. Those guys,
never count them out.
It's worth being at Wimbledon for those guys is worth an extra game or two every match because that's their best surface. And it's just so amazing to watch the difference, though, between the slow play on the French with the clay, so the pace of the ball being slowed down by the clay to how fast it goes on the grass and how the pace of play is just so much different. It's kind of cool in a lot of ways to be able to see the differences and the techniques and the guys who it used to be one guy would never do well in both tournaments. Very rarely you would have players that could win both the French and the Wimbledon. Now you have some special players on the men's side that really are all surface players. But
they really are. They work hard at their craft, man. So we'll see. So Andy Murray does. I like Murray to still. I think he's the favorite to win it, but he's just. Just relax. Take a deep breath, Andy. Jeez Louise. Take a look around and enjoy it. Otherwise, Djokovic will eat you up, man. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to come down between those two. I think it's going to be Djokovic and Murray. I really think it's going to come down to those two. I think Nadal's still really good, but I don't know. I just like those two.
Djokovic hasn't won this tournament yet. I kind of think maybe he's due. To finally break through and win. He won the. Now I'm trying to think. Did he win?
No, I think he did win Wimbledon. I think he won 2 years ago, didn't he? Yeah, I think didn't he beat Murray 2 years ago?
No, I think it was Federer that beat Murray in the final 2 years ago. But
oh, you're right. No. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago he won. Didn't he win Wimbledon?
I don't know. Now I have to check. Now you're worrying me, but I didn't think he ever won Wimbledon. We'll do this off-air checking and we'll let you know how it goes next week because that's all the time we have for this evening on the Zuki and Ruggs Show. But thank you so much for listening and tune in again next week.
Good job, partner.
Same to you, sir, and we'll break down what's going on in the world of sports and get into detail next week when we see you on the Zuki and Ruggs Show. Good night, everybody.
Later.
Do you hate your GPS? Of course you do. That's the point. They're emasculating, but are they really emasculating enough? Well, they are now.
Oh, sure, take this route. Why don't you just ask them to steal our hubcaps, you dummy?
Introducing the Navigational Annoyance Guidance System, a.k.a. NAG.
Hey, eyes on the road. We don't want to die.
With NAGs, you'll be so irritated you'll have no choice but to follow the right road. Order now and get the maternal sound-alike chip absolutely free.
I can't believe I gave birth to such an idiot.
NAGs.
Order now, damn it.
Do you lack confidence and assertiveness?
Can you open my milk, Mommy?
Do people have a difficult time determining your gender? Do you take constant verbal abuse from strangers?
They're just a bunch of pansies.
Well, you're a man. Time to start acting like one. Try our brand new product, Man in a Can. This barely legal concoction comes in several invigorating flavors, such as aftershave, motor oil, and beer.
Stings the nostrils in a good way.
This stuff will make you a damn sexual tyrannosaurus.
Time to man up. Get Man in a Can today.
Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Awesome.